business. Well, how are you? Hope you're okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Wednesday, very cold. Smart means business. Hope you are well. Jeremy and Marcy in here to take you into the business insight. And well, of course, when you come to think of it, today is the last day of the month. And that means there's a lot to look at.
Yes, we have to review and focus on the fact that the month is ending and we're getting into the next month. And what have we done? What have we not done? What are the plans for the next year? And of course, as we usher in the budget.
And of course, when you look at this month, it's a huge one. Not only in Uganda, but the rest of the world. The financial year is kicking off in July, on July 1st. But that means every other government is setting up plans, budgeting and everything. And for the other business people, this is the same week for the salary earners. And of course, you get to realize this and next week probably, but this has always been that entire week because some companies, private sector players normally pay off or clear off workers during the last week of the month and then at least or the first week of a new month. But anyways, for us here, we always remind you that it's very possible for you to have an investment plan, an investment strategy. Star 292 hash is the USSD code now for the MTN subscribers. You can invest anywhere you are from 8:15 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. And also remember that with the Zabo platform, the chances are very possible for you to kickstart off your investment with Zabo. Zabo says, my money, my future. And Altex East Africa says, do something new. Now, remember with this particular platform, all these markets are only open for anyone who has registered with their national identification number, and after registration you will be able to invest in the next 24 hours or so. Remember, the markets are fully closed during the weekends and on public holidays, and the lucky twist about everything is that the first public holiday of the month will come on a weekend, that is on 3rd, Saturday, Mother's Day. Then maybe the other that will be coming in on 9th of June. So the rest of the days, June does look like a favorable month for you to invest and grow your investments. Save for investment. Now, well, our SMB Insight this morning is going to be rotating around assessing the progress of the parish development model. Earlier on in the morning call, same situation, and of course, you get to realize that there's a slight or a less uptake of or a low progress of the parish development model in most of the areas. I think if you're to look at this, Honorable Ronald Badimoizo was giving an insight of that in the morning call. But the parish development model was a program that was looked at as the opportunity to drive Ugandans into the money economy.
Yes, I must concur with you and agree with you, because now if you look like they say parishes, that's the easiest way to get to people, the people from our villages, those that are not salary earners, those that are not able to facilitate themselves. And of course, it is a good initiative, but I believe there are some challenges that I see that we are facing to implement this parish development model. One of the factors is mindset. We have to really have that in mind, mindset change. People are deliberately not understanding this parish development. But why? Why? Because, and of course, I must say, even language barrier.
Yeah.
Language barrier is one of the things that are challenging this parish model. Now, to look at mindset change, people have not really gotten to understand the value that is in this parish development model. Why? Because, I mean, the people that are benefiting from this parish development model
Are the parish chiefs themselves.
and of course, and then they're not sensitizing people enough as they can to make sure that they earn from this. And of course, people, I think, when this money is from, the man himself, and of course, like I say, sensitization is really lacking. Someone gets a loan, and they instead of using it for something productive, what they do is use it for something that is not going to. And of course, at the end of the day, you have to repay this loan, and of course, there are interests when it comes to this language barrier. Like I said, people. What's the people that are implementing this parish development model? I must say, some people do not understand really. I must say there is also a little bit of ignorance when it comes to this. People do not really understand what it entails. And I must say, if we could reach out to our people from this because like the Honorable Prime Minister said, this parish development model is for people, the poor people, and they're trying to uplift them to get monies to start earning from what they have. Of course, it's like earlier we had discussed last week. We are shifting from sustainable farming to commercial agriculture. So definitely we have to have monies coming into us. We do not eat for our stomachs. Okay, we eat to improve ourselves, to take our children to school, to make sure that we have something set up for ourselves. So definitely this parish development model is for the good of us who have not been able to, it's not actually, this is for all, whether educated or not educated, mostly especially for the youth and women. Because I mean, now if you look at the unemployment rate in Uganda, it is by far, discouraging. So definitely, if we could evolve this youth and let them know that they're going to actually benefit much more from these models, then I believe we shall have quite a number of people coming in with brilliant ideas and having skills for themselves. And I believe we have the skills. Like I said, people are not really educated when it comes to this. You may have a skill but lack facilitation. So if you have the parish development model and you probably, the money that has been injected in these circles, if you could go and borrow, and you have a skill, maybe you have a little bit of skill of tailoring, baking and all that, you could use that money, invest in your small business and grow.
And well, of course, if we're to continue as well, looking at some of the 7 pillars of the parish development model, the model has got 7 pillars, one of which is agriculture. This is production, storage, processing, and marketing. And so ideally, it's looking at commercial agriculture, as a matter of fact. Then the other pillar is infrastructure and economic services. There's financial inclusion into it. There's social services. There's mindset change and community mobilization. Now, when you look at mindset change, it is how do Ugandans appeal to the parish development model? Are you willing to accept that the model is here to at least, take you into the money economy? It's, there's a little twist of everything here in regards to how the government is actually, pushing these particular programs. Because when you look at some of the programs, right from the National Development Plan 1, 2 down to 3, the entire situation is to ensure that Ugandans are lifted. Now, lifting Ugandans, it says a lot more in regards to financial inclusion. How do you get these particular Ugandans or the low-income earners into, how do you include them in financial discussions and financial taking decisions? And also, as a matter of fact, infrastructure and economic services. This is some of the 7 pillars of the parish development model. And amongst the key highlights here, you get to realize that infrastructure is one of those that is actually going to push the first of the 7 pillars, which is agriculture development. Now, the agriculture part of production, storage, processing, and marketing will definitely need infrastructure. Good infrastructure, because with the good roads, the farmers can actually transport their goods ably. So from the market, rather from the gardens to the processors, or to the different storage facilities, or to the different industries, or to the different markets to sell off their goods. And this is where you come to think of it that, well, as a parish-based management information system was put in place by government to at least create room for better governance and administration, there is a lot to look at. There is a lot to look at. But of course, when you look at some of the other issues that have been surrounding the parish development model, if you're to look at it, President Museveni, who actually launched the parish development model last year, and as a key driver, and of course with the current financial year, which is coming to an end June 30th, is being driven around the same, the same conversations of parish development model. Now, in February 2022, when President Museveni actually launched this parish development model, this was a way of setting up poverty eradication programs. And the model was seeking to propel the 39% of Uganda's population, which are stuck in subsistence economy, and into the money economy. Subsistence, whereby even those in agriculture are only doing agriculture for themselves.
For the stomach.
Yeah, for the stomach. You're only planting matoke, say maybe maize, but that is all for your personal consumption.
Personal consumption.
And with the parish development model, the president was targeting a little bit more of let the Ugandan people at least get into the money economy by, if you are planting, if Massa is planting, if Joram is planting, if Andrew is planting, let's say you have a plantation of matoke and all these, you want to at least get people to easily, buy from you. You're not only doing agriculture for consumption, but for commercial purposes. People are going to buy from you, and you're going to sell, you're going to get money off of it.
Well, there was a report that the Honorable Minister Henry Musasizi highlighted actually when he was in Rwanda district, also launching the disbursement of the parish development model in Kigezi sub-region. Of course, he said that 1 trillion shilling was actually disbursed to 10,594 PDM circles. That is a lot of money, so definitely those who, I actually encourage people to apply for these things. Yeah. And of course, the same issue that actually but
obviously the problem is the SACCOs themselves. I think
the SACCOs themselves are using the money themselves. But of course, there has been challenges. Mostly, I've been seeing clips from West, the Kigezi sub-region. Have been facing quite challenges. There is that. There is the back and forth registration they have, when it comes to receiving this amount, the money that is required. They say come as individuals, and the next time groups. So definitely they are challenged. So at the end of the day, you spend the whole year in the back and forth. Something you had planned for has not come to pass. Definitely, I believe there has to be order. There has to be an alignment on how these monies are going to reach to the people. Either they say it's going to be an individual basis, you come ready as an individual, or you come as a group of people ready to receive. But of course, like we said, the youth, actually, I encourage the youth actually to actually do this. Agriculture is not bad. It is actually good. It's not a dirty job. You may not necessarily go in and dig. You can have employees do it for you, and at the end of the day you are selling, because this is the backbone of our country. We've done agriculture for quite some time. I don't think it's something we as Uganda have to be proud of, that we have actually good climate, we have good soil that can give us good produce. Like Jerome said, if we could improve on a few aspects, like infrastructure, then definitely we are going to be by far in East Africa one of the countries leading in economic growth.
Okay. Well, and also when you look at some of the key highlights in relation to what has actually led to this slow progress rather of the parish development model, there is poor road infrastructure in most parts of the country, especially the rural areas. And yesterday, while launching the budget month, the permanent secretary to the Treasury, that is Ramadan Gobi, did mention that, well, in the next financial year, what they want to do or what they want to focus on in regards to infrastructure is the roads that leave the main road, or these feeder roads. You know, they want to focus on the feeder roads because they are in shambles. You know, you find in up country where highways look so good, the roads are well constructed or well built, but after you leave the main road and you're heading into the villages or you're heading into town, that is where most of the challenges come in from. So you realize that there's poor infrastructure, then there's also the unstable power supply in most parts of the country as well. And then there's also limited establishment of small-scale industries that process the agricultural produce, for example. So at times, these are some of the key things that have also led to slow progress, if you come to think of it. It's 1 year down. We're taking the second year, and still government is focusing on the PDM as well, but we really need to look at some of the things and address a little bit more of the same. And also, you can easily see that by the look of things, as it was set up, it can play a key role in driving socio-economic transformation. And that is because most of our country people here are more poor, I should say, and they concentrate more on subsistence situations. Is we are surviving on daily income or on a daily gig. You're given money today, you use it the way you feel it's better, then you're good to go. So at the end of it all as well, the model, which was designed to follow a logical pattern of key processes with each seamlessly feeding into one another to create the necessary systems. Then furthermore, we have structures for holistic poverty eradication, and then besides that, they also include creating data systems. We also have the constantly feed of the whole government when it comes to real-time information concerning concerning various interventions at parish level. But then also, if you look at the developments of the parish development model, ministers members of parliament have been one of the people who are supposed to be driving the entire mindset change narrative to their different constituencies. Why? Because the parish chiefs at the first enrollment of the parish development model, lots of money was stolen. Funds were stolen by parish chiefs. Cases more so in up country. That when you look at areas like southwestern Uganda, then areas like the northern side of Uganda, that one reported quite a number of cases.
I must say that is related to the fact that most of those people are in the informal sector. Most of the percentage there are people who are not land. So, by the time it came into place, people had no idea of what was taking people. Of course, it was in the rumors were moving around, but people didn't know what was happening actually. I think that is what led to the monies disappearing all of a sudden, and by the time you think of enrolling, there is no money in circulation. So definitely, if we could sensitize and give people more knowledge of what this development model is all about, I feel in the next year, something great will be done for our country and of course as individuals as well.
Well, of course, when you come to think of it, there are circles like those in northern Uganda, Lango circles. Those are some of the circles that were reported to have been stuck with billions of shillings in relation to the parish development model. That is in the first phase of the program. Why? Because the would-be beneficiaries couldn't access the money because of some changes in guidelines on individual member access. And according to a survey that was carried out earlier this year, you get to realize that at times some SACCOs could not get the money simply because they had few members, or then others weren't registered. Now there's a difference between being a SACCO that is highly registered and recognized, and then also because at the end of it all, when you look at the other report relating how 3,200 ghost SACCOs shared 30 billion parish development model funds, there's another huge concern about that, because some SACCOs are ghost SACCOs that are actually set up. You know, they actually set up, but they are not having active members.
You may be surprised among the 10,539 SACCOs that I mentioned here.
Yeah.
50% of them are non-existent.
So the would-be beneficiaries, at the end of the day, end up not receiving, because when you look at, for example, in Lira, there were 54 PDM SACCOs in Lira that had been approved for funding. So when you look at all those 54, money which was supposed to be disbursed, not only 54 in Lira, there are 69 in Alebtong, Amolata 83, there is a Park municipality has 20, Lira city itself has 49. All these fall under that is the Lango SACCOs. But of course the issue was disbursement, because they had to make sure that before they give out this particular money, they have to make sure that the people who are receiving, or the would-be beneficiaries, would be receiving this money in, you know, in large sums, or how they're supposed to be. Because officials of the Ministry of Finance, in some of the reports that are actually coming in this year, is that the Ministry of Finance, officials from the Ministry of Finance and 49 districts in the implementation of the parish development model faced accountability queries. This is all in the first phase of the program. Accountability series, after it emerged that they dished out about 30 billion. Now all that 30 billion was heading to 3,214 unregistered or ghost SACCOs. Now that means in there we have parish chiefs who approved these SACCOs, or we have different local council heads who approved these SACCOs, but these SACCOs are either having no members at all, or they do not have active people. So it's like a SACCO that was set up at the start of the disbursement, so that someone can easily access this money.
And of course, I must say, I remember last year, I remember a friend of mine came in asking me for a signature. And I was really, you know, like, what is the signature for? And it was like, it's something to do with PDM. And you know, that is how it starts, the ghost SACCOs, and of course people get false signatures from different people, and it really to them, to the people that are going to disperse the money to these SACCOs, they feel like, oh, they are registered, the members are in there, but in reality there is nothing. So definitely I feel that is something they have to look into. And of course, like you said, that there are mechanisms, that data that are trying to streamline the progress of how this money that they disbursed, they're going to be monitoring. Okay, so in case, you know, you're trying to do something dubious, you know, you're going to be tracked and of course be brought to book. So definitely I encourage, you know, it is for the good of our country, of our people. You know, if you find yourself having it in your selfish interest, and I don't think, because now, like I said, that the youth and women are targeted. Imagine we are living in a country where unemployment is, you know, is still troubling us. Imagine it's a situation where your children are among those unemployed youth. It's quite challenging.
Oh, and it is indeed. Our conversations will be returning shortly, and we'll be joined by a guest in here to analyze more of the progress of the parish development model. So stick around with us as we return shortly. But as we are going into a break, investment should be part of you. *292# is the USSD code that you need to use to kickstart off your investment. And where can you invest your money? Invest that money in government bonds and other securities with the Zabo platform. Zabo is powered by Altex East Africa, and Altex East Africa says do something new. Now, with something new can you do today? Choose to invest in government bonds, for example. You choose a maturity period for the bond, either 1 to 2 years, 3 to 4 years, and then see your money grow into something very easier for you, something that is more profitable for you as a business person. The markets on the platform open at 8:15 a.m. and their closing time at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. You should note as well that these markets are fully closed during the weekends and on public holidays. Zabu, my money, my future. Alltex East Africa, do something new. Well, after the break, we return with more conversations rotating around the parish development model and its progress. Stick around with us. Good morning.